So by that time, it's too late and nothing they can do, really?
Just like anything, you want to be right on top of it and answer that within 24 hours. Never blame the customer.
Welcome back to Ciphers Digital Marketing Podcast, you guys. I am...
Hey. Just kidding.
Hey guys, I'm Leila, your host, and today we're going to be talking about something that everyone I know is curious about. We're going to be talking about business reviews. So we have Mike Rux here, the CEO of Ciphers Digital Marketing, to help us answer a few questions that we have and to just guide us through it. So first question, how would you necessarily handle, let's say, you have a bad review or a fake review as a business owner and you're just starting out in the business? How would you go about that?
Well, we have a lot of experience with this because we did get review bombed and had a bunch of fake reviews. And it's a real thing. Matter of fact, I believe Google's working on some deal they're going through. I don't know if it's a lawsuit or not, but they've had 10,000 fake business listings that they've had to deal with. Wow. That were brought to their attention by a company in the EU. So the way that you go about it is Google has a whole guidelines on how to do it, but what you want to do is basically look at if they're violating any of the guidelines, whether they maybe are cussing in the review. I mean, that's one thing, believe it or not, that happens.
I believe it.
Or if it's almost like a completely false accusation or something like that. What you can do is you can flag the review, and then Google gives you an area where you can actually look at those flagged reviews, and in 3 days, if it's not taken off, because you got to remember they're a big company and they're busy, right? So if it's not taken off after the 3 to 5 days, you can then appeal it. And when you appeal it, it's another 3 to 5 day process. So sometimes it can take some time, but the key is to look and see exactly if it violates any guidelines, and you always want to respond to it in a professional manner. Thus, depending on, a lot of the fake reviews are people maybe just complaining or they're upset or whatever the case may be. So just come back with something that says, hey, look, we usually treat our customers with respect. We don't know exactly why this is happening. We're sorry that happened. Please give us a call or email us at this, email address, and we'll help fix the problem.
Nice.
You never want to blame the client. They're the customer, and you always want to give a way out for both of you. So I would say that make sure it's not fake. If it's fake, more than likely you're going to get it taken off.
Okay. How can you tell the difference between a fake review and a real review? How does one decipher the difference between the two?
Well, and I like that word, decipher. Hey, good play there. Ciphers based, cipher. So I would say, it depends. Look at your records. Have you ever serviced that client or that customer? Do you show any evidence they've been through your business? And if you don't, and you have evidence essentially the other way around, you can submit that to Google and say, look, we don't know who this is. This is someone that's maybe from a competitor, or they've never been to our business, so this is a fake review. And if they don't have any proof, more than likely you can get it taken off. So it's really a process just to stay persistent on it. Right when you get that fake review, you want to address it right away. Mm-hmm. And more than likely you're gonna get some progress there. So at Ciphers Digital Marketing, we do a lot of that stuff. We do online reputation management and make sure that we're monitoring. So the best answer is to make sure you're monitoring your reviews first. Yeah. Because if it's up there for a week or two, it's kind of, it's getting set in stone. You want to address it right away.
Yeah. So by that time, it's too late and nothing they can do, really.
It's going to be a lot harder to deal with.
Sure.
It's if you get to it right away and you're on top of it, more than likely, you got a better chance of getting rid of it.
Yeah, I would agree. Definitely hit it as soon as it comes in.
Absolutely.
So since we've talked a little bit about bad and fake reviews, let's talk about good reviews. How should you respond to good reviews? What do you do with them? How do you take those reviews and improve your business?
Great question. Let me transition. That's a great segue back and actually revisit fake reviews, because I failed to mention there that that's another way to get rid of those fake reviews, because you can't always get them taken off.
Yeah.
So you want to have a stout plan where you're getting good reviews on a regular basis, because Harvard did a study that said that 68 or 72% of people that do an action on your website or actually get a service at your business, 72% of them will perform another action if you ask. right? So you want to have, and Google actually promotes that.
Yeah.
When you look in your Google local, you'll see that they say, hey, ask for more reviews. We want you to ask for, they encourage you to ask for reviews. So with the positive reviews, you want to always have a plan to where you're constantly reaching out to your clients. I mean, within reason, you don't want to bug them too much, right? But there's a lot of platforms and CRMs, customer relations management software, that does this. But I found the best way to work is just to ask in person. You know, whether you send out an email or call them and say, hey, how did that plumbing job go there? Oh, we love it. It's great. The pipes are working good. Would you mind writing us a review, and so on and so forth? So it depends on the industry, but you want to have a really good plan to get positive reviews on a regular basis. And then once those come through, it's just like anything. You want to be right on top of it and answer that within 24 hours with a great response.
Good.
And another thing too is I can tell you about Google reviews specifically. Now every platform's different, right? We all know how Yelp works.
Oh, yeah.
Or do we? I mean, they're the ones that don't gray out the reviews, or do they gray them out? Okay, anyway, let's not even get on that.
Yeah, that's a different podcast.
Yeah, so, but the Google My Business, the GMB reviews, are actually really, they're starting to tighten up on that stuff. So you want to show proof. And what I would encourage is actually having the client submit a picture. Like, hey, go take, the picture of how good the work was, or even you smiling with a thumbs up with them. And that's going to look a lot more legit and get that review more than likely approved, because they can filter both styles. They'll filter fake and they can also filter positive reviews. So they have, for example, and the reason I say that is, for example, is if you have a person at a business, and I've experienced this, and they come in and we do a good job for them, and they don't mention our business in the review. They just mention my name or my programmer's name or one of the web developers' names, and they don't mention Ciphers Digital. The review never goes up.
Yeah.
And so I actually had to reach back out to him and say, hey, can you revise that review and actually put, our name in there and stuff like that? So believe it or not, you want to kind of teach your clients how to write the review. Get a couple little keywords in there, maybe a picture or two, and mention the business. And it really, people are smart enough, especially the ones that are happy, and they'll do that for you.
Nice.
So I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, it did. Thank you very much for that answer. It made a lot of sense. Next question. So for, let's say, a new business owner, they're creating their website, they have a few reviews going in. Should they put the good reviews on their website? What do they do in that scenario?
Absolutely. It goes back to EEAT, like we talked about: experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. The big long EEAT. Yeah. So that's kind of a trust factor, right? And so it's also, believe it or not, a way to monitor reviews as well. There's different ways in programming, and if you're using WordPress, for example, there's ways to put plugins in there that monitor the review, and every 72 hours update your website automatically. If you just use a little JavaScript code, it's real easy to do. A good one out there is Elf Site. And what they do is they monitor the reviews, and when you get a new one, it automatically just populates into your website. And that's very important because it shows a lot of trust, not only to the user or the client, the prospect, but also shows trust to Google, showing that, that's on the website and it links back. So absolutely put your good reviews on your website.
Perfect. And this is kind of a question leading up to how to necessarily get those good reviews as a business owner. What is something that you think is very important to, receive those good reviews as a business owner? What advice would you give to the viewers?
Absolutely. That's a great question. And there's two facets to that. Number one is do good business, right? For sure. Because then you're going to have a lot more positive reviews, and let them come naturally as well. You don't have to push it too much. Maybe send out an email every now and then. Again, they do have CRMs, the customer relations management, and anytime somebody maybe finishes a job, it's like Jobber, I think, does that. You've got Podium is a good one that does that. And what happens is, you finish the job and it'll automatically have a workflow where it'll send out an email and say, hey, and you can do it a couple different ways. You can do it with what's called a Net Promoter Score. So you can send out, but that's to filter the review. When you get happy clients that are done with, the actual job, you just send out an email and say, hey, would you like putting that on Google for us, or any of your choice of Yelp or whatever wherever you want to get your reviews.
Yeah.
And that's another thing is you want to try to get them on different platforms because again, with AI, and like we talked about the AI overview, is they're scraping sites all across the internet. So they're going to look at the Yelp stuff. They're going to look at all over the internet. So I would say don't pigeonhole yourself to one particular platform. Try to get reviews in different places.
What are the top platforms that you would recommend to?
I would say obviously Google is a big one. It's good to get them on, Facebook has a way to get reviews. Then of course Yelp, but that's, like I said, that's a whole nother project.
Yeah.
So, but those are pretty important. They still have a good piece of the pie there. And then you've got Trustpilot is a good one. And again, it depends on the industry. You've got specific ones for if you own a hotel. You've got specific ones for restaurants. So just wherever you think you can get some traction, I would focus on that. And a good way to do that is to find those websites. So top restaurants in your area, and then hey, hopefully you're number one.
Yeah.
But number two is at Yelp. Well, get some reviews there. Number three, maybe is it Facebook, your Facebook page. We'll get some reviews on your Facebook page. So whatever drives the bottom line, so to say. So I would do a little research and find the top 3 places to get reviews, just like you would do with social media. You don't want to get overloaded.
Yeah.
Do the top 3 and start working on those. Once you maybe get 10, maybe add another one in there.
Perfect. So what's the process like trying to get them necessarily, and like trying to get them on there? What's that like?
You mean actually trying to get the review? Oh, well, obviously they're going to have to log into the account. So that's why the easiest ones are usually Google, because everybody's got a Google account, right? So, the process can be a lot more harder depending on how deep you go with the reviews and what platforms you add them to. So again, that's why I say start with the first 3, and then people, they're getting smarter and smarter to know how to kind of, develop an account and so on and so forth. So you just have to explain it to them. Maybe with the email that you send out, have those 3 platforms in there, so Yelp, Google, and Facebook, can you add, and then you can even add instructions or like a PDF that says this is how you do it on this one, that one, so on and so forth.
Perfect.
So as long as you're not, and this is the big one with Yelp, as long as you're not paying for reviews, or you don't want to bribe them for reviews, right? You want to let them come naturally and organically. And again, so the more that you do good business, the more it's going to come in.
Yeah, perfect. So let's say somebody's kind of been having some hardships with some pretty bad reviews, going back to that, and they don't really have many good reviews. How do you come out of that necessarily? Like how do you continue your business positively and trying to just ignore that aspect, the bad reviews?
Well, first you want to have a plan, like I discussed, and to cipher through, no pun intended, to ciphers through all of those reviews and find out the ones that and it's no harm in complaining to Google and say, I don't think this is legit, or I think it's a defamation of character, or it has some kind of signal in there that seems like they're just mad for no reason, or I've never serviced this customer, I don't know what this is. And so there's nothing wrong with going through those reviews and reporting them to Google, but you also want to have those responses like we talked about very quickly.
Yeah.
And you want to have a plan in place where you're constantly getting positive reviews, because it's just going to push those people down. And then the ones that go and read those bad reviews, they're going to read the response from you. So how do you make it sound?
Yeah.
I've had clients that I've had to teach them to say, look, you can't respond that way, because they get all upset and their emotions get involved and they're like, we would never do that, it's your fault. And I'm like, wow.
So what are some don't says and says in a review? What would you say to the person responding, to the business owner? What would you say to not say? 3 things to not say and 3 things that should be said.
Okay, 3 things to not say would be, number 1 is never blame the customer. Never blame them. Even if it is their fault, don't blame them. Work around it.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 2 would be, obviously, never blame yourself, because unless you still don't want to blame yourself. You still want to kind of find the wording around it. And the number 3 thing I would say, offer a solution. So 1, never blame the customer. 2, never blatantly blame yourself, right? And number 3 is offer a solution. Those are what I think would be the 3
Perfect.
Things that you do say.
Yeah.
Or
I think that kind of ties in all in one though. A little
it does.
Bit. Yeah.
It does. It ties into both. But also you want to maybe help them understand, because most of the times it is a misunderstanding. People that really want to have a solution, if you have a solution for them and they want to solve a problem, they immediately don't usually just go on and write a review. I mean, you really got to kind of, make them upset a couple times.
Take them off a little bit.
Being proactive, and you're really not going to get in that trouble unless you're not doing good business.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then you deserve bad reviews, right?
That's the key, guys. Make sure you got good business.
Yeah.
Seriously, without that, I don't know.
Exactly. And that's why you got to be proactive, because if you get to that customer when they're hot and you provide them a solution, more than likely they'll take it down. Now I've seen instances where people call them up and spend a bunch. I mean, I've seen where they've spent thousands of dollars, like whether it's fixing concrete or something that broke that wasn't their fault, whatever that happened that cost the business owner money, they're willing to go out there and actually redo the job and say, hey, I'll fix it all for you, and can we revise and maybe turn this into a positive review?
Yeah.
And that's the nature of the beast. At least you did the right thing.
Yeah.
You might get some customers that say, yeah, go ahead, and you'll come out and fix it, and then they won't do that.
Yeah, but at least
you've always got those people.
Yeah, at least you kind of make up for it, though. It's professional for the business owner to go out and create that solution for them, and at least make the client feel a little bit more comfortable and at peace with everything, whether or not they fix the review or not. But at least you have that satisfaction of okay, at least I know that their head is at least in a little bit of a better place. But it sucks if they don't write that positive review back. I know people are still waiting for that.
That's on them.
Yeah.
And the truth is like, if you look at good business owners, I mean, you met, like we talk about manifesting.
Yeah.
Right? And people, it's not like it's a genie thing,
Yeah.
right? Manifesting is doing business the right way for years and years and years. No matter what anybody does to you, you always do the right thing.
Yeah.
And when that happens over time with patience, it starts to come around. So there is a force out there that, you want to call it God, you want to call it the universe, that keeps things in line. So, and that's how good business works. So just be proactive, always do the right thing, and try to get your customer, if you got an unhappy customer, make them happy somehow.
Perfect. So is there any last minute advice or anything that you would give to our business owners, our viewers? What would you say to them watching right now?
As far as reviews, again, just to recap, like, always respond quickly. Make sure that you're nice and professional no matter what. And always have a plan to get positive reviews and keep it going, and never do anything shady or fake there, because Google will catch it. They're getting really good at it. And especially, I mean, Yelp claims to be the top, they catch it all the time, but who knows? What I'm trying to explain is that just do it right. And then, like we talked about, get pictures and proof that these are your customers, whether it's negative or positive. Always prove that this is your customer.
Yeah.
And if you have those things, you'll be all right.
Perfect. Well, there you have it, guys. Stay real, stay professional, and have good business. Thank you so much, Mike.
Absolutely. And if you're looking for an audit, we can audit your reviews and see how we can help you take care of them. So Ciphers Digital Marketing, ciphersdigital.com. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. We'll see you guys on the next one.